sitting here in Guadalajara, and it's a beautiful city. It's full of passion and joy and amiability, and I've been drawn back to this place, this cathedral. It's very beautiful. I don't know what it's called, I've forgotten. It was called something like spiritual, I don't know, something crazy. And you know, I've really been drawn here a lot over the last few days, mostly at night, but I've never been here during Mass, or whatever you call it. I never called it Mass. We never called it Mass when I was little. I was brought up as within a Protestant thing, and I'm just sort of sitting here, and I want to go in there really, and I'm sitting here and I'm listening to them singing, and makes me feel really brings back a lot of memories from my childhood of going to these sermons or gatherings or whatever where people would sing together, and I'd feel so connected to the community, and I don't know, joyous and just fulfilled and satisfied. And as a child I used to love singing at these places, and I used to love hearing the reassuring voices and all that sort of stuff. And then as I got older I started to think, and I started to doubt, and I saw how much my doubts were being bypassed and not really dealt with, and being dismissed and not taken seriously, and eventually I had to withdraw because I felt like I was there dishonestly. I had to ignore my own truth and, you know, rational ideas and things like that in order to be a part of it. And I guess in many ways, you know, I've been in such a nihilistic frame of mind, and I've gone through so much depression, and I felt so lonely in my life because that exclusion from delusion has permeated into pretty much every facet of my life. You know, I feel like everybody is using delusion to bypass their dealing with negativity and suffering, and I just prefer to suffer. And I'd prefer not to suffer alone. I'd prefer to suffer with people, and I think that suffering brings people together, and I think that's why church brings people together, because it's kind of like an acceptable community suffering, or a communal homage to suffering through the narrative of, you know, the reborn Christ and all that sort of stuff. But it grieves me because I do feel very left out of this, and I would like to sing the songs and feel that sense of like piety and submission to a loving power. But I don't believe that loving power is God. I believe that it's a man-made thing. But what I disagree with with other atheists or other, you know, theists, is that needs to be a negative thing, or that needs to be a hollow or a shallow or a dissatisfying idea. I think it's beautiful, the fact that we can come together and commune together around this human-made community, you know, where we embrace each other's hardships and the hardships of life and death, and the, you know, the unanswered question of why we're here, and, you know, the answer to all of it, in my opinion, is each other. I really do believe that we live in a cold, beautiful, but cold, empty universe, and the only way to fill it is through meaning, connection, through each other, through the sharing of meaning. And you know, our minds and our souls, you know, from a metaphorical definition of soul, more like psyche, emotions, you know, energy, vibrations, all of our body, our intentions, our stories fill the universe with something that has never been there before. We make the point of existence, but since we started outsourcing it to these delusions, the human entity has become this, you know, empty vessel. And I don't know if I want to call myself a humanist. I guess I believe that I am a humanist, but I do grieve, because I feel like people could come together and have these gatherings, these masses. But you know, the cynics among the atheistic and let's even say humanist, you know, factions, they you know, there's a lot of cynicism and snobbery that goes on about this stuff. It's people think that it's cheesy, or it's tacky, or it's, you know, it's not cool. What the fuck is cool? Cool is a fucking thing that lasts for about a month and then it's gone. Who the fuck gives a fuck about cool? This has endured for fucking millennia, and there's a reason for that. It's not the idea or the narrative or the belief that keeps it going. It's that human need for community and strength through hardship. You know, we can't face that hardship alone, and to suffer that hardship alone is hell. Trust me on this one. But alas, I'm excluded from it because I cannot be so dishonest. I can't pretend to believe that these stories are literally true. I think their metaphors are beautiful and powerful access to the mote of the human condition, you know. So I still think they're very, very valid and substantial and necessary. But unfortunately, to accept that we are the ones who create the world of meaning and purpose in life is to accept that we live in a cold, dark, uncaring universe that isn't all for us, that hasn't just been put here so that we can enjoy it. And that's a pretty scary idea. It's a very scary idea for me as a child. I never had any guidance for that from anybody. Buddhism doesn't answer that question, really. It's still full of Hindu ideas like reincarnation and karma, which the latter of which I do believe can be explained somewhat rationally. So it's been a long struggle, and one that I've struggled with alone and on the outskirts. I have so much love for people, but I am barred from membership because of doubt, my faith in doubt. Doubt is a type of faith, I suppose. Maybe. I'll have to pull that one apart some other time. So I just wanted to share that. I used to love going to these things as a child. It brings back a lot of memories, and I'm sitting here and I want to cry because I feel like I've been left out of it for years, and it means a lot to me. It always has meant a lot to me, but not for the reasons why people want it to mean a lot, you know. I can't exist among people and the delusions while I'm providing a source of doubt and dissent for that delusion. I don't want to call it a delusion, it sounds like a horrible word, but when a metaphor becomes a truth, it's not quite a delusion, but it's very close. And I'd much rather explore the truth and the wealth of meaning and perspective that metaphors bring. So there you go. I want to close this video by just adding a little bit of context to these videos, because I've just kind of started them randomly, and I haven't really explained why. I would like to do that in maybe a couple of minutes. I don't really want to ramble on for ages and ages. But I've basically left the UK, where I'm from, because I've been miserable there for decades. I'm 33. I've tried my best to fit in to the corporate model. I've tried my best to gain satisfaction and personal merit through the wage slavery that was offered to me as a child, so gleefully and bountifully, you know, in lieu of my actual individual freedom, spiritual, emotional, psychological. And I've tried my best to live among my family, whom I love very much, but who have very deep spiritual issues as well. I'm no different from them, don't get me wrong. I'm not parting or just distancing myself from these people. It's because of our spiritual issues that, you know, we have such a strong relationship, although distant a lot of the time. But whereas they found ways to survive, I've just been alone and alone and alone. And when I've tried to be around people, I've just been angry and frustrated and miserable, and I've just not been able to give them the joy and the vivacity that I would like to offer the people I love. You can't give what you don't have. So after all this time, and after the stupid UK government has decided to lock down the country and stop everybody leaving because of this fake virus, which isn't fake, okay, but it's way overblown, I decided to leave before they could do that to me, before they could shut me down into the caravan I was living in the wet, in a lay-by. That was the zenith of my life in that country. And what I really got from a lot of people, that my family are really starting to be more supportive and understanding now, which I do appreciate. But for a long time, you know, I was being told, this is the way you have to do it, this is, you know, why, blah blah, you know, this is just the way it is, you have to get on with it. You know, not so much told by my family, but a lot of people that I'm being selfish, or I'm being, you know, inconsiderate, or and all this kind of stuff. And what, I should stick around and be fucking miserable and really suicidal, frankly, since I was very young, since I've been started high school, really, since I was in junior school, infant school, primary school we call it, I suppose. You know, there's been very few mornings in my life where I've got up and been very truly happy to be awake, and that's not a life. And no other opportunity was offered to me. The way of the Brit is to grin and bear it. Well, grin and bear it for what reason exactly? Why? Why should I be alive and be miserable? So I'll tell you now, it was a choice between carrying on to there, keeping calm and carrying on to an inexorable termination, you know, either through through conscious or unconscious self-destruction, which I've tried dearly to avoid, or God knows what. You know, live out the rest of my days waiting for death, working for fucking £8.50 an hour in Tesco or some other bullshit job, so some fucking nihilist bourgeois prick can sit on a beach in fucking Ibiza and God knows what filth he's getting up to. Most of these bloody billionaires are pedos. That's basically what we're funding, isn't it? Lovely. We're working for a capitalist system so that the 1% can fuck up the kids who aren't in their family, the poorest usually. Well, do you know what? I say fuck that. I want to be happy, and I don't just want to be a corporate resource. I want to be a person, and I want to swear if I want to swear, and I want to say things that are a bit difficult to hear, and I want to make dirty jokes, and I even want to make, you know, very risque, un-PC jokes, not because I actually agree with the sentiments, but because stereotypes are awful things and they need to be laughed at. And I just don't want people around me telling me I can and can't do this or that, because do you know what? I do give a fuck, not because people tell me to. And I've learned in my life that I know how to give a fuck a lot better than the way people tell me to give a fuck. So I've left the UK, and I'm in a beautiful sunny country around people who know how to live. You know, I'm very grateful for my training in the UK, because it's allowed me to commune with death. And, you know, obviously I'm not going to say I accept my death fully, but I don't want to die, but I accept the fact that I'm going to die, and it's allowed me to be free in a way that very few other people are free. I don't care about being rich. I want to have enough money to get the fucking man off my back, that's for sure, but once I've got enough, that will be enough. That's my only goal. To make the people I love have some sense of satisfaction and fulfillment in their life, or to enable it at the very least. These are my goals, and I don't give a crap about the stupid poxy dreams that have been sold to me about, you know, penthouse suites on, you know, gaudy skyscraper things that look like huge cocks. Like, why would I want to do that? You know, dipping my balls in cocaine and dusting each other's noses in it. What? Whose dreams are these anyway? Where do they come from? Hollywood. Pedos. Again, there you go. Great. Everywhere. So, I say fuck that. I'm out here. You know, I'm doing my thing. I'm trying to reflect on the journey I've had up to this point, which has been very confusing and very lonely. And I hope, you know, I don't think I'm going to make any money on these videos, because I'm going to just swear and I don't really care. I might start a Patreon, but again, who cares? I'm doing this because I have one life, and I have a lot to say, and I've learned a lot about being myself. I don't want this video series to be some kind of didactic or, you know, edifying resource, unless people see it as that. Or I want people to relate to it if they do, and I want to be able to express the ideas I have in a way that's authentic. It's very strange. I've tried writing a diary, and I get into this weird kind of headspace, like, you know, dear diary, today I saw Mr. Buttercup, or some bullshit, you know, like off a movie again. All this like weird stuff that entered my head. So, you know, I've got a lot to say. I've got one life to say it, so I've decided that this is the way I'm going to do it. And, you know, if you like it, great. If you don't, well, leave your comments below. I've done plenty of trolling myself, so I'm ready for it. But that's why I'm doing this, is because I've lived a long, deep, dark, lonely life, and I've learned a lot from it, and I have a lot to say about it, and I have quite a uncommon thing to say. It might, and a lot of them are probably going to be quite difficult for people to listen to and absorb, but they need to be said. I'm not a public kind of guy. If you want to listen to my stuff, you can. It's here. Maybe someone will stumble across it at some point. I wish you all success. Not success. I wish you all love and fulfillment and community, and I hope that we can all find a way through this confusing, weird life, which is basically an exception from death, or the state of death, if you think about it, which is a beautiful, fortunate, and graceful exception. We could not be here at all. So many things could have happened to have stopped that from happening. But it has its nihilistic side, and it has its lonely and difficult sides, and yeah, I just hope that my two hopes are this. My primary hope is for me to talk and for me to say these things. If I do that, that's it, that's enough. My second is that someone might start watching them and start relating to them and start thinking something and whatever else, For now, I'm going to leave that as it is. I'm going to listen to some more hymns, some more people in reverence and community, and maybe shed another tear. And I'll come back with another video when I have things that I feel are suitably profound to be worth saying. Okay. Love, light, and levity to you all. Bye.